us and Pakistan on the same platform. Thank you, Devika.
Okay, on that note then, I want to bring in Wing Commander Sudhakaran. Wing Commander Sudhakaran, you've heard what the previous speakers have had to say, but I have to play a little bit of the devil's advocate here. Because one of the larger questions that everyone is also asking is that since we're taking such a strong position against Turkey and Azerbaijan, the thing with Turkey and Azerbaijan is that at least they've been extremely transparent and open in their support to Pakistan. But there are nations that, such as China or such as the United States of America, which through means like the IMF continue to pump in money into Pakistan. So is it enough for us to just take a position against a Turkey, against an Azerbaijan, without really thinking about taking a position then against China, which supplies the defense weaponry to Pakistan, and at the same time the United States of America and other Western nations, which through the IMF continue to pump in money into Pakistan?
Devika, I will avoid that question because that will take us nowhere. Because we are in right now all over the place. I have to address some more important concerns. Dr. Sharad Kohli, Ambassador Prabhu Dayal and Lalit Singh had reasonably addressed most of the concerns, and they have thrown enough facts. Let me bring in another context here. You know, why don't we talk about our strategic oversight, masking it as a strategic patience of sorts? India's delayed awakening to hostile powers. Of course, you have mentioned about China and US. We'll come to deal with them when we need to. Right now, let's not create enemies all over. Let's deal what we are supposed to deal and can deal. We have not even done that to begin with. Let's stop pretending we didn't know to begin with. And that's where my anguish and my anger is directed towards the establishment today. Today, yes, we have acted, but Turkey's anti-India posture isn't new. Azerbaijan's alignment with Pakistan isn't a surprise for us. And illegal foreign nationals embedded near our strategic zones didn't appear overnight, Devika. The truth is, we saw this fire all along. We just chose not to act till it burned us and bled us. This is not acceptable to me as a military professional and as a citizen. For years, Turkey has built a drone warfare system aligned openly with Pakistan and fueled anti-India rhetoric. And yet, Turkish companies like Celebi operated in our most critical infrastructure, our airports, which means you are kidding with me that it didn't go through any scrutiny? Come on, you didn't know this? How did you allow this to happen? Where were our strategic think tanks who've been conducting these lectures, spending crores of rupees all over? What are they doing? Where was our security intelligence architecture? I now question the establishment. Where is my hostile nation register, which would have chronicled and documented each of these and should have reacted? Why are we so reactive in nature? This isn't just geopolitics, Devika. It's about natural negligence. It's about national negligence, that I would say. From 2016 to 2025, we've all along known that there are illegal Bangladeshis and Pakistanis in sensitive regions. Some have given birth to over 100 children. They have got 3 generations living here. NRC debates, CAA protests, and Intel alerts. We had the data with us. So what went wrong? Why didn't we throw these Pakistanis out from India in 2016 or 2019? After all, they were illegal. Political will existed, but implementation, I'm telling you, is faltering across the board. And this is my perennial complaint to the government. Bureaucracy is very hesitant, and it is living in its own la-la land. It's time that the government spanks the bureaucracy and get them on their feet. I am disappointed, be it Startup India, be it Make in India, these schemes are good. But when it comes to implementation, we are just all over the place. I have to say the agencies have not coordinated here, and maybe some feared controversy more than they feared infiltration. That's why this infiltration has been happening in this country. It's now time for accountability, Devika. I don't want any further excuses. For God's sake, we have arrived at such superpower. Our armed forces have proved to the world that in 3 days, we have decimated a nuclear power. What the world feared in terms of nuclear, we have dealt a death blow to Pakistan so that it went and knelt down in front of Trump. Despite doing all these things, if we pretend to act like a power which requires validation, which requires help from foreign agencies, then I'm sorry, we have not arrived. If we really think that we are a superpower, we better behave like one. We take the responsibility of one. We cannot be like this all over. Let there be a process-driven system. Let people be accountable. Now, it is not only that we have acted against Celebi. I want Modi ji to question those bureaucrats who has approved this. Ask them what kind of validation have they done. Now, if they have not done this, please constitute an independent audit agency to check how many anti-national forces are within India acting against India. We always talk about the 0.5 ecosystem. That 0.5 ecosystem is perpetrated by the government. That is why we have snakes in the Ganges. These snakes have to be taken out and thrown into the Arabian Sea. They can go and live in the Pacific Ocean. They don't belong into India. And this is something as a message that we as citizens, we need to put these guys on notice. It simply cannot happen that, we are divided from within and the onus is only on the armed forces to give victory after victory. Mind you, this mindset can someday lead to the compromise in the efficiency of the armed forces. And they are our last bastion. Don't lose them. And if you lose them, believe you me, we will again be divided. It is not Pakistan which will be, cut into pieces. We risk the same thing if we don't mend our behavior. That is all I have to say now.
Okay, the last word then with Ambassador Dayal. Ambassador Dayal, pertinent points there raised by